Hello everyone, welcome to the 1995 Belgian Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the news around the paddock. We are deep into what is known as silly season, and there are many rumours going around. Williams are apparently in talks with Nigel Mansell regarding a comeback for 1996, but the Brit is not too keen on the move due to his age. Kaya Mahendra is reportedly on the radar of a few top teams. Mahendra has had a meteoric rise up the grid during these past two seasons, and it's being reported that Ferrari is showing some interest. McLaren are very keen to hold on to Brundle for 1996, and Brundle this week has told the media that he would be more than happy to re-sign with the team. Mika Salo has apparently been told his services will no longer be required by Streamline after the conclusion of 1995. With Salo out of a drive, will any other teams be interested in what he has to offer? Ayrton Senna is the talk of the paddock. He has won the previous 5 races and has the championship wrapped around his finger. Williams have shown interest in negotiating a contract extension, but there is a certain Italian outfit that would be interested in his services as well. That's all for the news, time for qualifying. Here we are then, back for round 11 of the 1995 season. And this is the Belgian Grand Prix, the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit. We are riding on board once again with Mika Salo in the Streamline engineering car. And the previous race did not end well for Salo at all. He's under immense pressure from the fans, his team as well, to just hold on to his seat for next season. As we've already said, he has got a contract for 1996, but if these results, like in Hungary where he crashed out again, these keep coming, he's going to be at risk of losing his seat for the end of this season, going into next season. But he's told us this is one of his favourite tracks to drive. This is Mika Salo's bread and butter when it comes to racing, and as a commentator I can agree with him. It's a legendary circuit, and we ride on board on his fastest lap in the qualifying session. He's already up by a tenth and a half on his previous best through the first sector. Senna, who has won 5 races on the bounce, is in provisional pole position yet again. He's not only a qualifying specialist, he is a race specialist now as he's developed throughout his career, and you could say he's really at his peak of his career right now. Ayrton Senna looks unbeatable as it stands, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to catch him for this year's championship. We saw Michael Schumacher had that injury at the San Marino Grand Prix, and that really put a massive dent and ultimately possibly ended his championship fight. I mean, Schumacher now is down in 4th in the championship as it stands on 30 points, and Ayrton Senna is on, I believe, 62 points. So the gap is almost insurmountable. As we approach the end of this qualifying lap, Mika Salo is already up by 0.4 of a second through the first 2 sectors. As we go through the flat left-hander of Blanchimont and into the bus stop chicane for the final time, well, the only time on this lap, hooking up the apexes and on the acceleration, 100% throttle all the way down towards the line. What time is it going to be for Salo? It's going to be a 1:58.672. That's 4 seconds off the pace of the leader, but it's 14th place right now. Let's see where he is on the starting grid. So here are the qualifying results. Senna claiming pole position yet again, but look at the gap between the top two. Michael Schumacher just over a 100th of a second behind. Damon Hill in a distant 3rd, half a second down on the pole sitter. David Coulthard alongside him on the 2nd row of the grid, and then 1.3 seconds off pole, Martin Brundle in the lead McLaren, followed by the 2 Ferraris of Berger and Lazy, the 2 Jordans of Barrichello and Irvine 8th and 9th, and Zomba impressing in qualifying today, qualifying within the top 10. In 11th place and 12th place the 2 Saubers, Frentzen ahead of Mahendra today. Mika Hakkinen only managing 13th in the McLaren, more than 1 second off his teammate Eric Bernard down in 14th place, followed by Ralf Schumacher, who has had an impressive season so far. It's his debut season in Formula 1. The 2 Lotus drivers showing that the Lotus car does have good speed on those power circuits. 16th and 17th, Morbidelli in the second, footwork in 18th. The Tyrrell of Verstappen in 19th, with Panis rounding out the top 20. 21st place for Ukko Katayama. Mika Salo is a distant 22nd today, outperformed by his teammate massively. The 2 Minardis on the following row of the grid, Fisichella and Martini, with the final row of the grid consisting of Jean-Marc Gounon in the Simtek and Ricardo Rosset making another race for 40. That means Ratzenberger, Herbert, Sospiri and Noda do not make it onto the grid. So we all know this circuit, it's Spa. It's located in Belgium, one of the longest circuits you'll find on the F1 calendar. just shy of 7 kilometers in length, and that's why we only have 44 laps ahead of us today. It's a dry race. The action zones, there's many overtaking zones. The main ones down to turn 1, it's a hairpin, turn 6 at the end of the Camel Straight, and turn 17 into the bus stop chicane. The difficulty of the circuit is high. Overtaking is quite common, and speed is very, very high as well. Driver strategies for the Streamline Engineering boys. They're both going for a 2-stop strategy, both very similar laps that they are going to pit on. Zomba going for a slightly shorter opening stint. He's qualified up in 10th place, a fantastic qualifying for Reith. Let's see if he can translate that into a good race finish. Salo has a lot of work to do, starting down in 22nd place, but his race pace is often strong compared to his qualifying pace, so let's see how the Streamline Engineering drivers get on. There's only one more thing to do, and that's go racing. The 1995 Belgian Grand Prix is next. Here we are on the grid, 3 lights, 4 lights and 5. The 1995 Belgian Grand Prix is underway, and Salo gets another shaky start from down near the back of the grid. He goes to the outside of Katayama for turn 1, and there's a yellow flag already. I think there's a Ferrari facing the wrong way, and they're all getting really held up here. There's a Martini, I think, going up. Oh, it's Fisichella going up the inside, and there is a Ferrari facing the wrong way. It's John Alesi. I think Alesi's already out of the race. Schumacher apparently is out of the race as well, and Damon Hill has no front wing. We will get a replay of the start soon enough, as there's debris everywhere on the run down to Eau Rouge. Salo already up to 15th place. He's got Alessandro Zanardi in the Lotus in front of him now, and I'm pretty certain there's a few drivers ahead of him down the Kemmel Straight who have damage sustained to their cars, so they might be easy pickings. They may be pitting at the end of this opening lap as well, so great start for Salo. It's misery for Michael Schumacher, who possibly his championship, it was over the last race. I think it was over at the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix, but it really is over now. As after today, I think we only have about 6, maybe even 5 races to go in this championship. And I think the gap might be insurmountable. If Ayrton Senna can score a good result today, that looks to be one of the Saubers slowing down. As Zanardi moves past, it's Kaya Mahendra without a front wing, so even more damage caused to drivers. That's 14th place for Salo. Let's have a look back at that dramatic start to the race. Senna leads the way down towards turn 1. Michael Schumacher in 2nd place covers the inside. He actually looks for a move up the inside, takes too much of the curb, and Damon Hill collides with him. So Schumacher out at turn 1. There's a Ferrari facing the wrong way. I think a Sauber of Mahendra's just gone into the wall as well, so Mahendra lost the front wing. That's how that happened. And there's tyres and front wings and all sorts of debris everywhere you look. But after the first couple of corners, it is Ayrton Senna in the lead. Damon Hill is still in 2nd place, but missing a front wing, so he's going to be tumbling down the order as well. David Coulthard looks to the inside at the end of the Kemmel Straight and moves past his British rival into 2nd place. As we start lap 3, Salo goes deep into the first corner, saves the car from the wall, but he's going to lose a position to Ralf Schumacher to try and hustle Schumacher down the hill towards Eau Rouge. This is a very daring place to make an overtake, and it looks like Salo's going to try for the move. Not enough space there. Ralf Schumacher closes the door on him, and Salo will have to settle for 14th. Barrichello up in the points right now, just ahead of Reith and then his teammate Eddie Irvine. I think Barrichello right now sitting in 6th place, but it's not going to last much longer. Engine failure there. The Jordan driver pulls off to the side of the track and retires from this race. Moving on to lap 5, and Zanardi is next up for Salo. He's looking for a way past on the Kemmel Straight. I don't think the Streamline has the straight line speed, but with the slipstream, is just able to pull beside the Lotus into the braking zone for the next right-hander up the inside. Salo runs wide though, he runs deep, and he does not manage to make the move stick, so he's going to have to do it all over again. He might have a run down into this following corner. It's going to have to be a bit of a dive bomb, and Salo goes through under braking. That's a very late move. Alessandro Zanardi did not see it coming, and Salo up to 12th place. This is a great race for the Streamline driver so far, with his teammate up in 5th and the second Streamline of Salo in 12th. This is fantastic. Lap 10 of this Grand Prix, and Zomba Reith, he was in 5th place. He just lost the position to Eddie Irvine, but Reith having a solid opening stint. He started down in 10th place. He's been running in the points since the end of lap 1. He's looking very good for the talented Hungarian right now, who has scored points in 2 separate races so far this season in the opening 10 rounds, but he has suffered a few mechanical issues since those point scoring finishes. But right now in 6th place, this has been a brilliant result so far for Streamline, with his teammate Salo down in 12th. At the end of lap 13, the race leader Senna is in, and he's out the pits, and he's still far in the lead. 2nd place David Coulthard who I think has been into the pits already. I think he pit a couple laps earlier. He is about, I'd say about 10 to 15 seconds behind the race lead. Reith into the pits from 6th place, but it sounds like he's stuck in gear and it sounds like it's a terminal issue. Reith pulling into the pits to retire his Streamline car from a possible points finish. Lap 15 and Salo's into the pits for his first scheduled stop. He almost runs into the back of Blundell there. Blundell, I think, might be on a 3-stop strategy. He was into the pits on lap 10 or lap 11 and just managed to stay ahead of Salo coming out the pits. But Salo stopping on his marks, pitting from about 11th place as there's a yellow flag out for some sort of incident on the track. New tyres going on, a whole load of fuel going on, taking Salo all the way to maybe 2/3 race distance as he rejoins past the yellow flag in 14th place. 13th place, just beaten by Damon Hill, who's been in the wars today after that first lap incident. Damon Hill on his road to recovery and right now is just ahead of the streamline of Salo. I probably imagine Damon Hill will pull away. Verstappen and Ralf Schumacher into the pits on lap 17. Ralf Schumacher has rejoined a second and a half ahead of Salo. So Salo in 12th now. There's Damon Hill in 10th. Damon Hill has not actually been too much quicker than Salo. I think Hill is still managing some damage on the car. Otherwise, he'd be a lot quicker. Solid race so far from Martin Brundle. He's into the points right now for McLaren. But there's brake failure for Brundle at the bus stop chicane there. He's out of the race. That looked like a heavy impact into the wall. An incident involving the Ligiers. I think there's a footwork and a Lotus involved. A easy few positions for Salo, who was 11th. He's now up into 7th place. That's exactly what Salo needs. And to be fair, he's run a solid race. It's about 50% of the way through this race now. And he's made little to no mistakes. Let's have a look at a replay of what happened there with the Ligier and the Lotus. So it was Blundell putting pressure on Heinz-Harald Frentzen, then he just slows on the exit. It was apparently brake failure according to the team, and the Ligier behind of Bernard just struggling to try and find a way back past. Can't find reverse gear. Damon Hill comes storming around the first corner, losing his own front wing, knocking Bernard clear out of the race. There's a footwork involved of Morbidelli, I believe, and Katayama coming around the corner as well. And later on in the same lap, it panics in the wall. I have no idea what happened. The cameras must have missed it, but there's an incident involving Panis at the entrance to the pits. Häkkönen's engine has been smoking for a number of corners, and on the end of lap 25, it's going to all come undone for the Finn. And that's a double retirement for McLaren today, not what they wanted. Lap 25 and Senna has been in for his second and final stop, and you guessed it, he's still far in the lead of this race as he heads down towards Eau Rouge. Second place David Coulthard is just going across the start-finish line, so the gap is growing ever more lap by lap. Lap 26, and due to Häkkönen's retirement, Mika Salo is now up into the points positions. He started 22nd in this race, he's now running in 6th place. Things are just falling in place for the Finnish driver today, and about 18 laps to go in this one. Could he score his second points finish of the season? We're on lap 30 for the race leader Senna, Coulthard in second, Irvine right now in third place, but I think Berger has just been into the pits and Irvine still needs to be serviced one more time. We're currently looking at the battle for, I think, 10th position. Katayama in 10th, Zanardi 11th, Morbidelli in 12th. It's a very close battle. Zanardi's teammate was running really well, Mark Blundell, but he suffered a mechanical retirement. That brake failure saw him out of the race. So it's looking very nice for Salo at the moment as he pits on lap 30 for his second and final stop in this race. Ralf Schumacher is in a distant 7th place. Heinz-Harald Frentzen in a distant 5th. So Salo right now just running his own race. There's another team out in the pit lane as well, ready to service their driver, as Salo's going to put in about 14 laps of fuel to get him to the end of this Grand Prix. It's looking very, very good for Salo right now. He's still on the lead lap for now, I believe, as there's another yellow flag on the exit of the pit lane. He's now one lap down. Ayrton Senna has just gone past. You've just seen the Williams go past. He rejoins in 6th place, still clear of the footwork of Ralf Schumacher. A faultless race so far. Lap 33, a bit too late. Pit too deep into the bus stop chicane. Mika Salo makes a slight mistake. It's a half spin. He's not going to lose any positions, but he does lose about 5 seconds. And crucially, it seems that Damon Hill in the Williams has just managed to get past the footwork of Ralf Schumacher, and Damon Hill is now only going to be a couple of seconds behind the Streamline of Salo. Lap 39, only a handful of laps left, and David Coulthard in the Benetton is lapping Salo, who's lost grip mid-corner. Slams into the barrier, no damage done. But where is Ralf Schumacher and Damon Hill? They were right behind him, and he's stuck on the curb as well. Ralf Schumacher goes through the footwork into the final points position, and Damon Hill is all over the back of them as well. So it's a battle between 3 drivers for the final points position, and it's only a few laps to go. Damon Hill all over the back of Salo, and with extreme strength in grip, Damon Hill manages to get through. So Salo in the space of half a lap from 6th down to 8th, but Salo is definitely not going to give this fight up yet. Almost making contact with the back of the Williams into La Source, and now down towards Eau Rouge. The Streamline and the Williams, they go side by side with each other. Salo not backing out, Hill not backing out. But eventually Mika Salo up through Radion takes the position away from Damon Hill. What brilliant driving that is. And now Ralf Schumacher is only 8/10 up the road. Lap 41, and Salo has a run on Ralf Schumacher to the inside. At the end of the Kemmel, straight up the inside, back into 6th place. Can this time though, can Mika Salo hold onto the position? They're already a lap down, so there's only going to be 43 laps for these runners down here. But with Damon Hill right on the back of Ralf Schumacher as well, this could get very, very close by the end of the race. Senna through the bus stop chicane for the final time in this Grand Prix. He's going to cross the line to win the 1995 Belgian Grand Prix and claim his 6th victory in a row. Hill has made it past Schumacher, and now he's all over the back of Salo. Salo only has one sector of this track to go to pick up another points finish in Formula 1. Can he do it? The brute speed of the Williams right behind him. Less than 0.2 of a second separate them as they head into the final sector. And through Blanchimont they'll head into the bus stop chicane for the final time. Who's going to get this final points position? Can Salo hold off Damon Hill? Under braking into the bus stop chicane, the final braking zone of this Grand Prix. And on the exit, Salo's just going to do enough to pick up a 6th place finish and prove all the doubters wrong. As we head on to the results, Ayrton Senna claims victory for the 6th race in a row. David Coulthard impressively picks up a 2nd place finish, and Gerhard Berger on the podium for Ferrari. Eddie Irvine, a strong 4th place finish for him in the Jordan. He was the final driver classified on the lead lap. Heinz-Harald Frentzen in 5th. Mika Salo had to fend off the attacks from both Damon Hill and Ralf Schumacher on those final few laps, but he claims a 6th place finish and another point finish this season, his 2nd of the season after the opening round at Brazil. Damon Hill, like I said, in 7th. He had to have 2 extra pit stops, I believe, during this race. The 2 Tyrrells rounding out the top 10. Zanardi 11th place. His teammate Blundell could have had a really strong result today, but I think it all fell apart due to that retirement. 40, even though they are incredibly slow, have incredible reliability, it seems, as they finished another race. Ricardo Rosset classified in 17th place. And that really crucial first lap of the race, Michael Schumacher suffering another retirement. Let's see how that has affected the Drivers' Championship. And here are the championship standings. It's a 1-2 for Williams, as it was before, and the gap is 40 points with only 5 races to go. Ayrton Senna has almost mathematically won this championship outright. He already pretty much has, well, he's got the championship pretty much in the bag. I don't think anybody is closing that gap now. Michael Schumacher still in 4th place. David Coulthard, though, is now only 1 point behind his teammate, Kaya Mahendra, who has not scored points, I think, since the 7th round of the season, or maybe even the 6th round of the season. Still in 7th place, though. Eddie Irvine picking up valuable points today, moves him up into 12th place, and Mika Salo's point has moved him 1 clear of Fisichella and level with the Sauber of Heinz-Harald Frentzen. We've now had 18 drivers scoring points this season. The Constructors' Championship has not been wrapped up yet, but Williams have managed to reach the 100 point mark. They're in 3 digits now, triple digits, double digits for Benetton, McLaren, Ferrari, Sauber and Jordan, and Streamline's point today moves them 1 clear of Footwork in the battle for 7th. A quick look at the team update, and Mika Salo's very happy at the moment. He is very content after his Belgian Grand Prix. Of course, he had a run of a few very poor races, but that Belgian Grand Prix makes up for the mistakes he's made somewhat. Zombarito, back-to-back mechanical retirements, mechanical failures, not looking good. Of course, he's being loaned from Ferrari to Streamline in a deal between the two teams for Ferrari to supply Streamline engines for at least the next few seasons. The team finance is looking very good. We have the Italian Grand Prix next time. And last season we did really well at the Italian Grand Prix. It was our best race of the season, so hopefully we can go one better than the 7th place we got there last year and get another point. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, join the Discord, follow me on Twitch and Twitter and all that, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.